Hi, Dr. Cerf. It's a pleasure to speak to you. My name is Bhairav. So I'm a graduate student. So my question to you is like in terms of data security, as large language models can surf the whole entire internet and it can return to you sensitive data. So I wanted to ask you how what safety measures can we incorporate in the internet infrastructure so that since LLMs will become more and more powerful, so that like the infrastructure needs to be improved. So what's your opinion about that?
So first of all, of course, when you say internet, I tend to think about the basic packet transport, like the road system, and I'm not thinking about the cars that are on the road and the things that are in the cars and the buildings that are adjacent to the road. And I'm saying to myself, the internet isn't going to prevent people from abusing the business model or the large language models. There are, I think, many of the creators of those AI-based systems are trying to find ways to prevent jailbreaking from happening, because the consequence of the jailbreaking may be spilling of the raw data that was used to train the model. And as you correctly imply, some of that might be fairly sensitive. I think we're still some distance away from understanding how to constrain the behavior of the model when it's in generative mode. I've done a few experiments with these large language models and foundational models to appreciate how hallucination can happen. And when it isn't amusing, it's actually a little concerning. I tried to get one of the large language models to write an obituary for me, and I thought it was reasonable to assume that it would recognize what the format of an obituary was, and probably knew a little bit about me because I've got Wikipedia pages and things like that. So the thing starts out and it says, "We're sorry to report Dr. Cerf passed away." Then it gives a date that I thought was way too soon, so I wasn't happy with that. And then it says, "Summarize my career," but it gave me credit for things I didn't do, and it gave other people credit for the stuff I did. And then when it got to the family members part, it made up family members that, as far as I know, I don't have. And I came away thinking, how the heck did that happen? And my naive assumption, and I'm no expert, is that a lot of the formation of the large language models and the training, which is often fill in the blank, put the most appropriate string in this empty spot in a sentence, is unaware of context. And so when it's plucking words out of web pages, it doesn't know that this paragraph is about me and that paragraph is about somebody else. All it knows is those two words showed up on the same web page and some distance apart, which influences whatever the weights are for particular elements in the multi-layer network. So context turns out to be an important component, and I'm sure the people who are experimenting and exploring implementations are recognizing that there is a contextual component that has to be accounted for. I think that we're still some ways away from understanding how to do that, and I worry that a regulator may have the right objective in mind, which is to prevent harmful output, but doesn't necessarily know what the right way is to express the control, and we may not know either. And so my tendency is to say, let's make sure we've figured out how to do these things before we demand that they be done. Because if we insist on doing something, the responder may just do anything that might work and might not work, and you end up with something that doesn't fulfill the expectation of the regulator.